grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worry on the doorstep and just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can you hear that pitter pat? Yes, that happy tune is your step. For life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade. Now I'm not afraid that this rover has crossed over. If I never have a cent, I'd be rich as Rockefeller, with gold dust at my feet on this sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade. Now I'm not afraid that this rover has crossed over. If I never have a cent, I'd be rich as Rockefeller, with gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. On the sunny, on the sunny, on the sunny side of the street. Good morning, everybody.
There we go. Now I'm assuming you all can hear me. So if somebody just give me a thumbs up in the or a text saying yes, you can hear me. But good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and there's Jason. Hi, Jason. Keep that camera on for a second there, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. My mouse button is way over there today, so I'm trying to keep it.
Your mouse button is way over there today. Well, good morning to you
It's
again.
nice to see you. How are you?
I'm very well. And yourself?
Great, doing well.
Good. I love the contrast of that really fun song that has kind of some early to mid 20th century vibe to it with the monster truck over your right corner.
Ah, yes. This is very true.
Yes.
It's sunny on this side of the street.
Well, it's sunny here in this Zoom room for all of us. I'm so happy that we're here together celebrating this day as we open ourselves up to the release of what was and let what is. That's good service, and move into the next turn of the wheel of the Gregorian calendar as we move into 2024. So happy to share this with you.
Me too.
You've got some wonderful music for us. So before you disconnect, Jason,
Yes.
having some challenges with music on my background. So when I start the ritual, I'll say to you, can you just play some underneath music and let's see if it works, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, perfect. Good morning, everyone. So happy to be back with you. Hope you've had a wonderful holiday season, and know that you were in my heart last Sunday, as I'm sure we all participated in watching that beautiful pre-recorded concert that we had done in 2020. It's a wonderful way to anchor in the holiday season. And I appreciate that for each and every one of you, that you have felt the same about it that I did, that it was just touching and renewing and rewarding to be able to have that experience. And so as we embark on the turn of the calendar year and move into this next one, may you all know together that the power of the divine, that infinite source of all good, exists by means of you and by means of me, and that there is nothing that can make us be bound by a calendar or by the measurement of time, for we are transcendent of that as an expressive power of the divine. And so I welcome you into our virtual space, coming into this space known as the Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles. And whether you're joining us live through Zoom today or through YouTube and or through another format at a later date of watching us, please know that right where you are, the divine is. The power and the presence of that thing itself is expressing itself in all of its totality, all of its glory, all of its magnificence by means of you. I'm going to put on the screen right now our opening slides, and I invite you to take a deep breath in and feel them. That is the right one, yes. So let me get to that. I've got a couple of slides for us today that are different, so they're on different setups. And so we are known as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. Our vision statement is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. We say hello to each and every one of us as we come together in this community. We like to open with an act of namaste. It is the actual physical act of putting our hands together in prayer position, placing them over our heart and bowing forward. The purpose of that is to honor the power that exists within each and every one of us. And its modern incarnation, it's the God in me honors and acknowledges that within you. Its translation from Sanskrit means I bow to thee. It's literally honoring that power. And so let's all do that together today as both a centering exercise and as an acknowledgement of those who may join us at some point or are joining us through this virtual reality. Let's take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're free to open our eyes and lean forward and say, Namaste. I bow to thee. We welcome you into our space. We teach primarily the science of mind, which is a compilation of all the great spiritual teachings that Dr. Ernest Holmes pulled together through the early 20th century and was then published in a book called The Science of Mind in 1926. It's been around now for almost 100 years, this teaching, which seems like a long time, and of course is not if you compare it to Sanskrit and Judaism and other great spiritual teachings. The foundational component of this teaching is that there's one power that exists in the universe, and that we individualize this power, and we both experience it and process it and express it through our thought, our thinking, through our beliefs, through our actions, through our reactions, and our interactions with the very thing itself, life. And we get to experience our understanding of it, our alignment with it, our intentional use of it by looking at our life, not through the lens of judgment, but through the lens of observation and acknowledgement, which really brings us back to the concept, if we don't like what we're experiencing, we can change our thinking and therefore change our life. It's important to remember that in this teaching, because we truly believe that we live in a universe that is governed by spiritual law. It is that thing that responds to us by corresponding to its totality through our life experience. Sounds very heady, and in many ways it is, but what it's crystallized as is we have the power within us to create a shift in our perspective and our perception. It's through our perspective and perception that we change our way of seeing things. And because the law does its part, we get to have an immediate experience of change in our life. And so as a community, we come together to not only and practice that, but to also support others in that, therefore fulfilling our vision of supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. Today, I invite each and every one of us to be open to that spiritual awakening, and that through this time that we spend together in this service, that something is shared, if not many things, that provides a spark, an awakening, a remembrance of that which exists by means of you and me, and in so doing garners out a sliver or even a great expanse of empowerment for yourselves personally. The way that we like to open our service is through a ritual. Now would be great, Jason. No, we're not quite there yet. So anyway, we welcome all races, all religions, all countries of origins, all sexual orientations, all genders, all abilities. We stand with you, we honor you, and acknowledge you. We like to affirm together, we welcome one and we welcome all. Now we go to our morning ritual. And our morning ritual is called Calling in the Light. We've performed this ritual for years now, and let's just think of the last 52 weeks. We've done that in the year 2023 in some form or fashion, and shall continue because the light itself is infinite, ever present. And so the purpose is to draw into our gathering a more conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. This ritual is oftentimes known as the flames of faith, honoring the different spiritual philosophies of the world, or honoring the qualities of the divine. And today we do all of that in an inclusive manner, even though may not necessarily descriptive. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths and all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence. It's that which we call spirit. And so fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. As we move into this literal and metaphorical shift on our planet, I'd like to share with us as a chant almost for each of us to use throughout the week. It's a Tibetan Buddhist prayer. And I'm going to read it and invite you to hear it. And then I'm going to read it again as to how I would like for it to be used as a chant. May you be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all beings. As we invite this in as an invitation and affirmation for all on our planet. We know that it begins with our own mind. So the chant is, may I be at peace. May my heart awaken and remain open. May I awaken to the light of my own true nature. May I be healed. May I be a source of healing for all beings. As we look at this candle on the screen, or candles, seeing the chant stay there, I'd like to invite Jason to sing the song, Lighting the Flames of Faith. And let's let this be a lyrical, musical, energetic prayer for all of us, inviting in the affirmation of this chant, this prayer.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our souls. was one flame, one light within.
And may it be true and real for all of humanity. And so it is. Such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. I know I say that every time, and it just has such a wonderful and loving resonance to it. And as it unfolds and is revealed, you can feel the power of healing that's within it.
Mm.
And certainly the way that you express it and allow it to be expressed through you, really. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
So your next song for us.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a Lauren Daigle song. This one's been on my mind this week,
Uh-huh.
and she's very good. So,
Fabulous. Thank you.
mm-hmm. When the best of me is barely breathing, when I'm not somebody I believe in, hold on to me. When I miss the light the night has stolen, when I'm slamming all the doors you opened, hold on to me. Hold on to me. Hold on to me when it's too dark to see you, when I am sure I've reached the end. Hold on to me when I forget I need you, when I let go, hold me again. When I don't feel like I'm worth defending, when I'm tired of all my pretending, hold on to me. When I start to break in desperation, underneath the weight of expectation, hold on to me. Hold on to me. Hold on to me when it's too dark to see you, when I am sure I've reached the end. Hold on to me when I forget I need you, when I let go, hold me again. I could rest here in your arms forever, 'cause I know nobody loves me better. Hold on to me. Hold on to me.
What a gripping song.
Yeah.
Has so many layers, the meaning of hold on to me, right? Obviously, I'm assuming it was, the intent was a human holding on to me, a loved one. And yet it can also I would perceive that as being the self, the mental self, and then obviously spirit. Right? So thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
for
thank you.
choosing that. It's
My pleasure.
yeah, just incredibly grounding. It's just a grounding song. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
see you soon.
Yes. So what I obviously, as you can sense, and I can sense for all of you, that song is provokes. For me, it provokes a question, an inquiry into mind of what am I feeling, and what do I allow to know as truth within my being. I'm one of these individuals that I don't have a large attachment to the change of the calendar year. And so often, I was at a lunch recently, and friends were saying, what are you declaring you want your new year to look like? And I have learned to say this not smugly, but just truthfully, that the change of the Gregorian calendar has no significance for me in its traditional sense. That's most of what humanity holds it for. For me, I look at the significance of the date of my birth when I'm about to engage in the next circle around the sun, if you will. And so, but the meaning for all of us, I believe, is the context of a new beginning. And since we do use this Gregorian calendar as a sense of measurement of time in our world, we are honoring that today through the lens, for me, for us, of looking back over our themes for the year 2023, since we are on this eve of now moving into what is known as 2024. And the purpose of moving through them for us is to reflect on from where we've come individually, collectively, as a species, and consciousness, of course, where we've grown through. We have memories and stories, and I'm going to share those and anecdotes from those monthly themes to help prepare us for what is to come, as we're always really setting ourselves up for that. And I have a slideshow to go with that to capture each of the months. And so I invite you to watch those. And I just thought also to remind you all, if the slide part is too big on your screen, there's a line between the slide part and where you'll see me, because my camera's on. You can touch on that screen and pull it back and forth, that line, to make the slides bigger or less. If you have questions with that, you can pop a question that into the chat window, and Robert or Travis can answer that for you. And so we began December 31st in the year 2023, starting with our theme from January in 2023: restoration, renewal, and revival. I chose this theme last year because I wanted us to remember that the importance of restoration, of moving inward and living and taking acts of things being restorative in our lives, and then to understand that we're always on the cusp of renewal. That because mind isn't bound by principle, we have within us always the opportunity um, to be renewed, um, to think anew, and life will respond accordingly. And then the last piece was to live in a revival, to to celebrate this power that exists within us. And so I want to share a story that I think is very poignant, that many of us have heard before, but it's a reminder to us to um, quiz for ourselves and have a self inventory as to where we are in mind, and by any chance have we literally lived out this story in life, and are we willing to have renewal and celebrate in revival? You've all heard it before, but I ask you to hear it with a fresh mind today. A fellow was stuck on his rooftop in a flood. He was praying to God for help, and of course, in our teaching and philosophy, God is that infinite impersonal power. But for the purpose of the story, let's know that it's what it says in the story. A fellow was stuck on his rooftop in a flood. He was praying to God for help. Soon a man in a rowboat came by, and the fellow shouted to the man on the roof, "Jump in, I can save you." The stranded fellow shouted back, "No, I'm okay. I'm praying to God, and he's going to save me." So the rowboat went on. Then a motorboat came by. The fellow in the motorboat shouted, "Jump in, I can save you." To this, the stranded man said, "No thanks. I'm praying to God and he's going to save me. I have faith. So the motorboat went on. Then a helicopter came by and the pilot shouted down, grab this rope and I will lift you to safety. To this, the stranded man again replied, no thanks, I'm praying to God and he's going to save me. I have faith. So the helicopter reluctantly flew away. Soon the water rose above the rooftop and the man drowned. He went to heaven, finally got his chance to discuss the whole situation with God. At which point he exclaimed, I have faith in you, but you didn't save me. You let me drown, and I don't understand why. To this, God replied, I sent you a rowboat, a motorboat, and a helicopter. What more did you expect? Cute story, but also has great depth and meaning for each of us if we're willing to look at it through the lens of our own life and remember that we do have the opportunity for renewal. The great Brene Brown, in the book The Gifts of Imperfection, let go of who you think you're supposed to be and embrace who you are, states, the universe is not short on wake-up calls. We're just quick to hit the snooze button. Today, let's open ourselves up to a wake-up call. A wake-up call to be restored, renewed, and to live in a sense of revival, to celebrate this power within us that's always there, sending solution, response, mystical miracles, if you will. And to remember that we play a role in this. Yes, we have faith, but we also have wisdom. In the book, The Science of Mind, Dr. Ernest Holmes addresses this, that we need to remember as we evolve through our personal self-empowerment and those spiritual awakenings. He goes, because thought is of the stuff that forms the universe, because thought is made of the stuff that forms the universe into definite creation, the law is charged with the power that we give it. No more, no less. It responds by correspondence. It's a mirror and a perfect one. It molds our ideas and belief into visible form and casts them back multiplied. It does not know that it's doing this, but it knows how to do it. This is one of the great enigmas of the universe. Restoration, renewal, revival. Let's celebrate today that the universe does its part, which perfectly leads us into the month of February, which is the theme of love is in the air. Love, of course, from the perspective of human love, as I speak of often, and the agape love we speak of often. But I want to remind us of the definition of love by Ernest Holmes in the book, The Science of Mind, which supports what he was just telling us in regards to that quote of the law responding and the nature of life to give. Love, as a quality of the divine, is the self-givingness of the spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. It's that response part that he's speaking of. And for you and I to be open to experiencing this energy, this expression, this thing that exists within us that is infinite by nature and waiting to be celebrated. I love this poem that reflects on the restoration, renewal, and revival that speaks to love by the one and only great James Baldwin. We heard it in February of last year, and I'd like to read it to us again and invite you to hear it. It's titled Follies of God. For nothing is fixed forever and forever and forever. It is not fixed. The earth is always shifting. The light is always changing. The sea does not cease to grind down rock. Generations do not cease to be born, and we are responsible to them because we are the only witnesses they have. The sea rises, the light fails. Lovers cling to each other, and children cling to us. The moment we cease to hold each other, the moment we break faith with one another, the sea engulfs us, and the light goes out. He's telling us to honor that which we share. And that which we share is love as the self-givingness of spirit. Through its desire to express itself in terms of creation. That which we share is the wholeness, it's the oneness of life itself, which takes us perfectly into the month of March, which was themed as healing time. Healing, according to Dr. Ernest Holmes, is the act of revealing. We've heard it many, many times, but let's hear it again right now as the act of revealing wholeness, oneness, love, the self-givingness of spirit. And today I invite you and I to look at what has been healed in the last 12 months before the clock strikes midnight, and also to look at what still needs attention, and to ask ourselves, are we willing to not only hold the possibility of that which is calling for healing within us, but are we willing to do our part? In the month of March last year, I shared in a newsletter, which I'm going to share some components to that with you in a moment, an affirmation, a spiritual mind treatment. I'm going to read it to us right now because I believe it's pertinent and poignant relative to this journey over the last 12 months and affirming that it's healing time. Feel free to close your eyes and listen to it and allow yourself to absorb it. Today, I see beyond the physical experiences of life. I hear that which comes from the universal via my intuition. I feel the grace of God in action in my life. I know heaven as a state of mind is mine right here and right now. The universal, omnipresent power of the divine is fully activated in all of my being. I shift my awareness and actions into alignment with my divine nature. I trust the invisible nature of creation is fully actualized in all aspects of my life. I know at a cellular level there's always more than that which meets the eye. This is the infinite. I release any and all beliefs, ideas, or thoughts that my good is measured by form, as I know my good is ever present and unlimited. I revel in the opportunity to experience and express the nature of the divine in all of my life. I embrace the infinity of nature and celebrate all good. My life is mystical and magnificent. All is well, and more, and so it is. The spiritual mind treatment, this call to action for each and every one of us, calls us to broaden our horizon, to begin to see things from a elevated perspective. Elevated meaning more reflective of our divine nature, of seeing things through the lens of oneness, of wholeness, of completeness, of letting go of the narrow-mindedness of the past. In that newsletter I referenced, it began with a quote by the one and only William Blake. He writes, "To see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wildflower and hold infinity in the palm of our hand and eternity in an hour." I love this quote. Because in his most eloquent way, Mr. Blake is urging us to go beyond the physical nature of life and that which is obvious. Why? So that we may gain a broader perspective of that which is continuous in the universe, life and the power back of it. This entire quote is a reminder that we hold the key to living a full life based solely on our chosen perspective, and that inherent within the grain of sand is the allness of life. This is a spiritual truth that exists for you and for me, and within each molecule and fiber of our being is the same life force that created and brought forth the grain of sand. And so I know for you, as I know for me, that there's been a time in life when we've experienced that which seemed unexplainable and unobtainable by everyday standards. It may have been a physical healing, a healing of relationship when it seemed impossible. Money showed up when everything was dire, or while in pleasure or pain, a deep awareness of God became present for us. This inexhaustible, universal, and personal power is always there for us. Those moments that we experience is an outward reflection of the healing that is referenced in the month of March. So it's time to begin anew, restorative, renewal, revival, with love and with healing, meaning we move into April when it's a time for a new beginning. In the month of April, we have the announcement of spring, which is represented as the sense of renewal. It's the emergence of the essence of that which has been sleeping in the dark, coming to life and expressing itself in all of its glory and magnificence. It's freshness and newness and birth. It's a new perspective. Let's know for ourselves, for each of us, that right now we have that as well as when we had it in April, and we draw upon that to be the baseline from where we grow, from where we express, from where we live our lives. I love this quote by Thich Nhat Hanh that we shared and had as a New Thought text for the day in the month of April, and it's this. We're very good at preparing to live, but not very good at living. We know how to sacrifice 10 years for a diploma, and we work very hard to get a job, a car, a house, etc. But we have difficulty remembering that we are alive in the present moment, the only moment there is for us to be alive. It's important for you and I to remember that it's in this moment, this very moment, where the new beginnings happen. This moment. And then our role in embracing this moment is aligned with and founded with and supported by the consciousness that we develop and own and express and allow in and align with our divinity as. And to remember that on this journey, day by day, thought by thought, moment by moment, month by month, year by year, it's important for us to remember that our thoughts are what's important here. Our thoughts determine our frequency, and our feelings tell you immediately what frequency you're on. So when we feel bad, we're on the frequency of drawing more bad things, things that do not reflect peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom in our life. And when we feel good, expressing peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom, we are powerfully attracting more of those things into our life. I know for you, as I know for me, that is exactly the desire that we hold for ourselves, that we hold for our loved ones, that we hold for our family and our friends, and we hold for our community, and we hold for all of humanity. I believe that, quite frankly, that is the purpose of the acknowledgement of the change of the clock, if you will, the ringing in of a new time period, so that we can openly desire those things. Just earlier today, I received a text from a group of friends that we all had Christmas together and talked about movies, and we've all decided The Holdovers is the best movie of the year, and one had just said she watched it last night. And I'll read her text because I think it speaks to this. She responded and said, "Watched Holdovers last night. You're right. Terrific movie." Here's the part that I want. "Best wishes for a peaceful, healthy, and kinder 2024. That's what we're here for, is this kinder, peaceful, healthier, more loving time in our life, which takes us, of course, to May, with the great theme of today is the day. New language that represents this declaration in mind that the moment is what matters. This quote of today is the day holds such, or this affirmation or this statement, such depth and meaning and power to me, because a coach I had years ago used to say, start your day with the statement of today is the day, and fill in the blank. And it's important for us to do that. And I have such wonderful memories of doing that at the teen camps and in classes and for myself and in coaching sessions and in relationships and on the ground in Malawi. We would all get together to say this in whatever language we were speaking, to create a mindset for the moment that is to come, or the moments that are to come. Why is that important? As Holmes tells us, in the book, The Science of Mind, in the chapter titled Opening Our Minds to God. It's important because of this, because spirit responds to us by corresponding to our states of thought. We enter into spirit in such degree as we comprehend it. It enters into us through correspondence in such degree as we comprehend it. And I know for each one of us that comprehension is forever changing, much like things that Baldwin spoke of in his poem, but also evolving. We begin to see and experience and express the nature of spirit, even though it's not changing. It's our perception, our awakening, our understanding of it, and our use of it changes as we grow and evolve and go through the journey of life's experiences. How do we do that? What's the way to open up to that in a greater way that serves us well? He goes on to tell us. He goes, prayer, communion with spirit, and meditation or contemplation are for the purpose of unifying our minds with the universal mind, opening up the avenues of our thought to a greater influx. Spirit is ever ready, ever waiting, because its nature is to incarnate. The greater our receptivity and comprehension, the more complete its flow. The universe is not only a spiritual system, it's an orderly system. We are living under a government of law always, whether we deal with the soul, the body, or spirit, whether we're dealing with physics or with metaphysics. The law is subject to spirit, which does not mean that spirit is capricious and may create a law only to break it, but does mean that the law is subject to spirit, and in that the law is spirit's servant, just as all laws of nature are our servants and obey us insofar as we understand them and properly use them. Today we're being called to set the intention to properly use the law of mind, the law of life, and to do it in a way that emboldens us in a healthy, loving, and compassionate way to create a year ahead that is healthier and kinder and more loving. One that provides personal self-empowerment for us because we've engaged in this spiritual awakening. This moves us to the month of June. And its theme is time to grow, glow, and know. For you and I, that growing and that glowing and that knowing is a reflection of letting go. Deepak Chopra tells us that shedding burdens that have made life seem limited and full of struggle. This is the journey of a lifetime. This is because of the unlimited potential for joy, love, peace, power, beauty that naturally unfold day by day. This happens whether we're consciously participating in it or not. However, we all know that life is so much better when we're conscious of our journey and of being awake and the role that we're playing in it, manifesting in our life. So today we get to declare for ourselves that we're all poised to have small victories and breakthroughs every day in life. And this happens as we commit to living life from an awakened place. And to remember that the principle of life is not bound by precedent, meaning that we can develop and experience the expansion, the miracle in the twinkling of an eye. It's all in mind as we choose to grow and to glow and to know the nature of spirit, and that we're free to use it in a way that serves us, taking us naturally to the month of July, which is indeed freedom. From a talk given by Dr. Holmes, the founder of the teaching of the Science of Mind, at the Wiltern Theater in July 4th, 1937, he tells us this, and it's so important today to even remember this. Ever since the dawn of civilization, ever since the first humans began to grasp the significant fact that they were individual beings in a universe that seemed to be more or less hostile to them, the entire search of the human mind, its whole endeavor, has been to get free from evil, from bondage and shackles of lack, want, fear, superstition, uncertainty, pain, disease, poverty, and fear of the hereafter. And because of this, human systems exist. Organized philosophies spring up, sciences develop, Educational systems are conductive. Collective security is sought after, and religions are formulated to allay the fear of humankind relative to the soul. The great demand in the world today is for the sense of security, freedom, and liberty. True liberty, true freedom, has something cosmic behind it. If the time has come that modern science has proved that we cannot move a piece of paper without changing the balance of the entire physical universe, if we've come to the place where we know that the stuff of which our physical bodies are made is the same stuff of which planets are made, if we've come to the place where such a profound unity is maintained that physicists believe there is no such thing as disunity in the physical world, then we can easily see what the great spiritual leaders of the ages meant when they told us of the greater unity in which we all live and move and have our being. This indivisible unity is you, and it is me. The idea of freedom is tied up into this, and I affirm for each and every one of us today to remember that if our nature is one, if God is one, and we know that God must be one, for the universe cannot be divided against itself, then we are all part of this indivisible unity. And we have the freedom to live it, and live it to the highest quality, the highest nature that we can conceive, which takes us to August, living simply the best life. I chose Simply the Best that month because the one great Tina Turner had just passed away. And the lyrics of her song, Simply the Best, I believe, speak to what we're all yearning for, much like the song that Jason shared with us earlier was. It's titled Simply the Best, and it certainly has double meanings or triple meanings or whatever meaning we give it. I invite you to listen to it right now as a call to action, as a call to receptivity, as a call, as an invitation to open up and to be free and to let go of any shackles of fear or doubt or disdain or uncertainty. They are. I call you when I need you, when my heart's on fire. You come to me, wild and wired. When you come to me, give me everything I need. Give me a lifetime of promises and a world of dreams. Speak the language of love like you know what it means. And it can't be wrong. Take my heart and make it strong, baby. For you're simply the best. Better than all the rest and better than anyone. I'm stuck on your heart and I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart, baby, I'd rather be dead. In your heart, I see the start of every night and every day. In your eyes, I get lost. I get washed away. You're simply the best. As I shared back in August, I believe this song speaks in this metaphorical sense of our relationship to the divine that is forever growing and expanding, and sometimes even maybe feeling as if it's compressing and restricting itself and then expanding again. That's the nature of being in relationship. But we also get to remember that it's never going anywhere. And so no matter what we feel is unfolding, its infinite nature is always there waiting for us to call upon it with joy and with excitement, as we did in the month of September. We decided to have a little fun with the theme of PPBNJ, peace, power, beauty, and joy. It's by living in relationship to these qualities as the divine that we get to know for ourselves that we're simply the best as the best of Spirit itself. We honor these qualities through the ritual calling in the light as we did today. And it's important for us to understand the importance of this ritual because it's through the repetition of the language, through the energy that is built upon consciousness as a wellspring of consciousness for you and I to lean on, to tap into, to move us through these moments by moments by moments, these days by days by days, these years and years and years of our awakening. Remember, the language of this ceremony states that we're here to perform it to promote the universal consciousness of life that begins within you and within me. And this universal consciousness of life promotes that all people and all faiths and all sentient beings, we all come from the one great universal presence. Once again, it's reinforcing and reinforcing and reinforcing the unity of all life, that we have the great glory and opportunity to experience and express thought by thought, moment by moment. And on this journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, there are times that we may feel as if we're falling backwards, but we also have the opportunity to fall forward, as we did in the month of October. We called it Fall Forward because that was another time in the human experience where we modified time. And sometimes it's to our great advantage and sometimes not, and that's all open to opinion. Opinions are how we get to express ourselves. It's important to remember that we have the option to use our voice in life, but to remember to use it with love and to use it with kindness and to use it promoting peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom. In October, one of our New Thought texts for the day reminded us to speak with our voice. It says, be bold enough to use your voice, brave enough to listen to your heart, and strong enough to live the life you've always imagined. It stated further on, today let's use this quote as a guide in how we show up in life. What a gift and blessing we will express and experience as the law of life responds in like kind, which moves us naturally in using our voice to the month of November. It's time for gratitude. And in November, we took a look at Tony the Tiger, who was obviously an advertising cartoon that was an anthropomorphic tiger mascot for the W.K. Kellogg Company's Frosted Flakes. Tony the Tiger used to always state out loud, it's great. And we use that as a play on the word gratitude, to not only choose to be great, understanding that our voice has power as we continue to fall forward in life, but to honor the voice, to make a decision as to how we're going to define and describe and experience life and how we express it, but to also remember that our thought has power. And to remember that a thought that emanates from awareness of love and connectivity is way more powerful than a thought that's emanating from a sense of separation or fear. As we looked at the month of November and Thanksgiving, we remembered that the attitude of praise and thanksgiving are salutary. They not only lighten the consciousness, lifting it out of sadness and depression, but they elevate it to a point of acceptance. Of accepting what? The opportunity for the miracles to show up in light. Which moves us then to the month of December that we just experienced. We're in the last day of it. Our theme for December was the miracle of light. Light, living in God's healing truth. The miracle, meaning that we have the opportunity for a new perspective. The miracle, meaning that the power exists. The miracle that darkness has no power, that light shall prevail and overcome darkness. Literally, yes, and experientially. It's important for us to remember in this activity of honoring the light within, that where thoughts go, energy goes. There's nothing else here besides energy. And that our thoughts do create this form that we so desire and experience and is a necessity in life itself. So it's important for us to moderate our thoughts because they affect the entire energy field. Ernie talked about that in his talk about freedom in 1937. When we are at a high level of vibration, we naturally attract high level experiences and vice versa. Experiences of life are a direct reflection of our thoughts. Today, you and I have the opportunity to let go of any thought that we've had, of anything in life that unfolded in this past year or all of the years that have passed in our lives, and be open to the miracles that exist. So many things unfolded in my life over the holiday season that I kept joyfully saying, the miracle of the birth of Jesus, another miracle of Christ. And in human form, it all did seem to be a miracle, meaning that it seemed somewhat unexplainable. And yet, it's all a reflection of an open mind. It's all a reflection of inviting in the light. It's all a reflection of the willingness to set the intention for life to begin anew, and then to begin anew, and then to begin anew. Our theme for January in the year 2024, as we embark on it next Sunday, is revealing anew. I know for you, and I affirm for me and for all of us, that whatever we do to celebrate the shift or transition or transformation that happens on this day, wherever we may be in our life, that it's all good, meaning that it's a reflection of our open mind, our open heart, our willingness and our intention and our desire to let the good of God be manifest through us. And the fact that it can is the miracle. Happy New Year. Jason's going to come back and sing us another song.
When I am down and oh, my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burden be, then I am still as I wait here in the silence until you come and stay a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulder. You raise me up to more than I can be. Raise me up so I can stand on mountain. You raise me up so I can walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulder. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up
I shared with you earlier, I love that song.
Thank you. Yeah, I love that
So
song too.
beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you, Jason, for being here today.
Oh, my pleasure.
Always wonderful to have you here. Um, and I'm going to give you peace and blessings right now, even though I know you're going to do one more song. On your journey today to Palm Springs, may you be safe and guided by the light and
Thank
have
you.
fun while you're out there. Are you spending the night there?
I'm not spending the night there. I will come back after my New
Yeah,
Year's gig.
definitely be safe.
That I
Definitely
will.
be safe. So, big thank you to Travis for his work with us today and to Robert with his work today. And a thank you to each one of you for being here this week. We will have an e newsletter that goes out this week, as well as our new thought text for the day goes out each day. And our midweek morning meditation picks back up Wednesday morning. So, I invite you all to be there and to enjoy that. Please feel free to check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and on Instagram. And our next in-person service is January 14th. And so I know for all of us that tonight is one that is filled with love and reflection and setting the intention for that which is to come. And I affirm that what has unfolded for us today has been just that, the good being put into motion. So I'm going to do a spiritual mind treatment for us, and then Jason's going to sing us out with a song. And then if you're on Zoom and you want to stay on for a moment and say hello, please feel free to do so. And so right now I affirm for each and every one of us that we are the perfection and the wholeness and the light and life of God itself, that we have awakened to the power and the presence of that which is making itself known through us in a new way today. We lean on all that has ever been said in an affirmative, loving, compassionate way for us. And we allow that to be the foundation from which we express ourselves. We bring into our mind's eye those in our lives that have passed on to the other dimension. We express gratitude for the light, the love, the compassion, and the wisdom that they shared with us. We say thank you. We bring into our mind's eye any and all that are in need of physical healing, emotional healing, and affirm that that begins in this very moment. We affirm that peace in our land is beginning to make itself known in new ways starting now. And we do our part to let there be peace on earth and to let it begin with each one of us. We allow this transformation of time to hold great significance to us if that's of importance today, and use this significance, this transition, this transformation to open up and birth through us that which is new. A new state of mind, a new field of awareness, a new vibration, and with a deep, deep sense of gratitude, we say thank you for the law of life that responds to us by corresponding. Today is the day. Now is the moment. We allow it to be revealed through us, being receptive and engaged in grace and ease and an allowance. And so it is. Jason will take us out with a song.
Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit gives to us, Spirit receives through us, Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit gives through you, Spirit receives through you, Spirit lives Spirit lives and breathes through you.